It's part 10 of our interview series with engineer-producer great Bill Schnee and how Pablo Cruz, when he first heard them, were not ready. Okay, one more thing, Pablo Cruz. When you first heard them, you didn't think they were ready, right?
Yeah, I had a A&R guy at A&M that believed in me, and he said, I'm going to send you a band's first album. We're going to do another album with them. If you like them, they're coming to town in a week. You can meet with them. So I listened to the album. I liked them. So I said, let's do it. So we met in a rehearsal studio, which is, for those that don't know, it's just a big room with a stage at one end and a sound system. And at the other end, there's usually a coffee table and some chairs and whatnot. And so I came and met them and sat down at the coffee table. They went up and played for me. And what they played was a bunch of grooves. They didn't have any songs. There wasn't anything with lyrics, and there wasn't anything that even was finished, ready for lyrics. They came and sat and we chatted for a while. And the bass player, who I'll come back to, is one of the keys to that band. The bass player, Bud, said, we're sitting there. I had my leg up on the coffee table, and this is a funky place. It's not a nice place at all. I mean, it's battle worn, the room, or else I would never have done this. He came in, after a while talking, he said, we heard you were kind of, I guess the A&R guy, Kip, probably told him that I can be kind of crazy. He said, we were told you're kind of crazy, but you seem normal to me. And with that, I took my leg and swept it across the coffee table, potato chips and Cokes flying everywhere, got up and walked out. And I was young, give me a break. And I went, the next day, the manager called me and said, what did you think? I said, boy, really good band. But they said, and when we were talking, they said they want to go in the studio next month. I said, they're not anywhere near ready. I said, but I'd be glad to come up and work with them on the songs, until they are ready. And he said, okay, I'll talk to them. And that was the last I ever heard. They went in with someone else and made the record. And just like the first record, unfortunately, there were no hits on the record. Those were the days, God bless them, where that we've certainly lost for quite a while now, where a record company would give an artist 2, sometimes as in their case, 3 albums if they believed in the artist to make it. All artists in any art form need time to develop, and a band that comes together, they may have been together for a while, but going from like here to here might take some more development. And record companies, with all their faults, were good for that. Whether they needed, people to champion them in their songwriting, sometimes live performance, this, that, everything else, they were good for that. So anyway, they were going to give them I guess another shot, because after the second record, I got a tape of demos in the mail, and the third song on the tape was "What You Gonna Do," and I called the manager and said, "I'll be right up." And so that's what it was. We went up there. I went up there and started. Went to a rehearsal hall, and I didn't kick everything over. And we worked out the songs and went in the studio and had a blast cutting it. And that's when they gave me that break to go do the live album with Olivia Newton-John. And yeah, so it was. And the sad part here, darn, there is a sad part. The crux of that band for me was what made them really special was the bass and drums. And the bass player was this Southern guy, Mississippi, I think Bud was from. And he was a great bass player and a great voice. And he was the second voice on that "What You Gonna Do," along with David Jenkins, the guitar player, who had a higher voice. And the two of them trading off vocals, was great. And they had 2 different voices. When they didn't always trade off, but you had 2 different flavors in the album. But the other thing was his bottom end with Steve Price, the drummer's kick drum.
And Jeff Porcaro liked him, right?
Oh God, yeah. On the second album, we did some overdubs in LA, and Jeff came to visit, and he was sitting in the back, and he heard one song, and then I put up a rough mix of the next one to go on to what we were doing. Came up, and as I'm doing the rough mix, in my ear I hear, "I like that drummer," and I went, "I do too." Yeah. So that was the bottom end. It was so great with it's this great drummer and great bass player. So the album comes out and the single is headed to stardom. And the bass player's wife makes him quit the band because she wants to do a duet with him. And it was heartbreaking. So Jerry Moss, the M of A&M, gave them a record deal because Jerry was a huge Joe Cocker fan, and Bud had a bit of a Cocker voice and whatnot. And he gave him a deal, and unfortunately, nothing happened, and whatever. But yeah, it was very sad because, as I said, in the book, there's no telling what that band could have done if he had stayed with them.
We'll have more from Bill Schnee coming up in 3-4 days. His new book is out, Chairman of the Board, The Soundtrack of a Generation. There'll be links in the description of this video and to his website where you can order the book. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. Also, if you want to make a donation to the site, there's a link at the very top of the description. You can also pick up a t-shirt. I'm John Beaudin. Take care of yourself.